Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bad Movie Brothers. I'm Eric.
I'm Chad.
And this time we watched The Punisher.
Was it The Punisher or just Punisher?
I think The Punisher.
Okay.
All right.
With Dolph Lundgren.
That's right. In a 1989 adaptation of the Marvel comic book, The Punisher, a dude whose family got killed by the mob and who goes on a revenge fest. This movie dwells less on the revenge fest than on the Yakuza showing up in town.
And not even that. It just focuses on him saving children.
Because the Yakuza has kidnapped the children of the heads of the mob, and so Frank decides to save them.
That matters more than the revenge part.
The Punisher.
Yikes.
Oh boy, I liked it.
Oh no.
Yeah, I had a good time with The Punisher.
Oh no.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what. So this is definitely a see it at the video store movie. This movie was absolutely around.
Uh-huh.
And I never saw it. Both because it had a reputation.
Yep.
I didn't like The Punisher that much anyway. He was never my guy. And yeah, I just never cared to see it.
Now this one's interesting because we dive midway into he's already punishing.
Yes.
We don't get the hey, here's Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Here's his life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, something bad happened. This is him becoming the Punisher. No, he's already punishing.
Right. And I loved that about it. I definitely did not have any patience for a Punisher Begins type movie. So I was thrilled that when this started, it is I think they say he's been punishering for 5 years.
Right.
What do you call 125 murders in 5 years? Huh?
Work in progress.
We just get the occasional brief flash at his family getting murdered and whatever. I would, however, have preferred more punishing.
Yeah, and less kid saving.
Sure, although I did like the kid saving parts.
I'm okay. Well, you
Sure.
know what? I would have liked a little bit more setup of who certain people were, or what was happening, instead of him out of nowhere driving a RC truck with a liquor bottle in it to the town drunk, who has way more information than anybody should ever have about the happenings of the Yakuza and the mob.
In what is in a movie that has been criticized, at least in comic book fan circles, as being not particularly punishery.
Right.
Particularly that he doesn't even put on the skull shirt, which seems like it would not be hard. We're not talking about Wolverine's costume or Spider-Man's costume or anything.
Right.
We're just talking about a shirt with a skull on it. The least Punisher thing in this movie is that I guess he went to the store, bought some liquor, went to another store, bought an RC car.
And batteries. Gotta get them batteries.
Sure, not included. Just so he could drive it up to his drunk theater actor, homeless guy informant.
Hi there. Nice weather we're having for this time
You
of
were
year.
supposed to meet me here 4 hours ago.
I know all about it. I've been hearing it all my life. Shaq's responsibility. Can't keep an appointment.
Where is the dope coming into?
Yeah, is this guy somebody I'm supposed to know who he is?
No.
Why does he speak in rhymes?
Don't worry about this poor old slob. Get on the case, do the job.
Because he is from the theater!
Is that what happens in the theater?
I guess.
Okay.
I guess in whatever town this movie is supposed to be set in. Apparently Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
It's where it was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with that. There's certainly not that the Punisher has a very deep cast of characters to rely on. The only guy I know about is Microchip, the guy that builds Punisher's like gadgets and stuff. That guy's not in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which is strange only because the Punisher has so many gadgets in this movie.
He had so many of the same knife.
He's got a lot of knives with a little skull on the end of them.
Yeah.
So much so that Lou Gossett Jr., who plays Frank's former partner and the detective trying to bring the Punisher in, just like has one like it's a batarang he got from a crime scene.
Right.
But which he does not keep in an evidence bag.
No, he's not a good cop.
That thing is ready to go. But Punisher, he's got this weird speaker set up in his Ninja Turtle sewer lair.
Now,
That
okay,
lets him
so
spy on the mob.
it was a speaker, or was he like, do the pipes just let him listen?
I thought there were speakers.
I couldn't follow it.
That's fair, because anytime this movie's in the sewer, it is very dark.
But there's plenty of space for him to drive a motorcycle. No problem.
He is a big fan in this movie of driving his motorcycle headfirst into narrow hallways that he is not going to be able to turn around in.
Right.
That's right. That's the Punisher. Dolph kind of sleepwalking through this one.
Yeah, he's not putting in effort.
Which is a shame, because like I'm a big fan, as I think you know,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
of Masters of the Universe.
Well, yes. How could one not be?
A movie that similarly misses the point in portraying its lead hero.
Everybody.
But while as in that movie, Dolph is having a ball.
Yeah, he's working.
Playing He-Man.
You can clearly see his face.
That's right. Here in The Punisher, I don't know if it's just because he's trying to appear serious and brooding, but it is not working.
Every day the children of God is going to cost you money. Take that message to your people.
And certainly part of why it's not working is the drawn-on beard that he has throughout the movie.
I wasn't sure if he had a beard or if he was just dirty the whole time. It's hard to tell.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be 5 o'clock shadow, but it's definitely just makeup.
And you know what? At the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
we find out that the Punisher is like explosive resistant. Because he's standing in the doorway of this house.
That blows up.
Whole thing blows up. And he's like, just walking away later. Like, no problem.
There are a fair few explosions in this movie.
Yeah, but they don't hurt him.
No, but they're pretty good explosions.
Yeah.
I'll say, like, the movie is not overly cheap.
No. I mean, there's Yakuza. Yeah, how could it be cheap?
So there is a lot of ninja action in this movie for a Punisher movie, or I suppose any movie.
Yes.
But this movie is crawling with ninjas, and I loved them.
Now, okay, your standard ninja weaponry
Sure.
would be like the katana
Mm-hmm.
and the throwing stars.
Right. Maybe a sai.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtle weapons. We get it.
Nunchucks.
Yeah. These particular ninjas
Yeah.
throw what appear to be metal balls with nails sticking out of them.
Sure. Like they're Phantasm or something.
Yeah, I did not understand that. And the filming of that particular segment looks so bad that I was, oh gosh.
This is definitely a movie that these ninjas like to put spikes on things. And anytime there's a spike on something, it does look extra phony. Because there's a part at the end in the Punisher's final raid on the Yakuza high-rise where there's this mute American lady ninja that works with the Yakuza, who I don't know if she's supposed to be
mute.
I don't think she says anything.
Well, I don't know if that makes her mute.
Okay, fair enough. In any event, I don't know if she's supposed to be Elektra or what, But at any rate, at one point at the end, she's having a kick fight with the Punisher, and she like deploys spikes in her shoes, and those are some pretty bad looking spikes.
Like, so why did she have to be American, that ninja person? What, like, is that somebody that I'm supposed to know?
Like, I mean,
Were they
I
trying
would
to make somebody there, or what's going on?
like I say, it seems like it's supposed to be based on Elektra. But because, like, you know, in the comics, much like Daredevil, Punisher has dealings with the Hand, Clan of Ninjas, and Elektra and stuff like that. But this movie doesn't, like, she's never called Elektra. There's not like any sort of point to it. I think that if we're being generous, we're assuming that they wanted to do some kind of Elektra-like character. And if we are being realistic, I think the answer is racism.
Yeah, you're right. And what you're pointing out with the spikes being not good, you know, a lot of those fighting scenes, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't quite make sense. Particularly, you may not be able to show this part, but
this movie is very violent, however, not very gory.
Right, you might be able to show it.
Yeah.
But when they're doing the raid at the end, it's, you know, like a classic Japanese-looking, you know, paper walls thing.
It's like a dojo.
Yep. And at one point, and there's a hallway, and the ninjas are in the hallway. Dolph Lundgren and somebody else.
He teams up with a mob boss to get his kid back. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on the other sides of the paper.
Yes.
Of the hallway.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
And they shoot into the paper, into the hallway to kill all the ninjas, but they're shooting right at each other.
Why didn't they get caught up in the crossfire?
Right. You know that. You know, how come the bullets didn't penetrate the paper to kill them too?
Yeah, fair enough. We do know that the mob boss is wearing body armor, but we also know that the Punisher specifically refused to wear it. So I don't know.
Here, just in case. Have it your way.
And those poor ninjas stood no chance when they got off the elevator. They got off the elevator and just mowed them down.
A big part of me does sort of wish this movie had just been about the ninjas.
Yeah, not the kids.
Again, I kind of liked the kid. Now, allow me to qualify this. I liked the kids in that it just added to the overall dumbness of it all.
Also, here's the thing. I wouldn't have any problem with it. I would have no problem with it.
Sure.
If this wasn't the Punisher. This didn't have to be the Punisher for all that. It could have been anything.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
Why are we doing that?
I'm surprised that of the two of us, I'm the one who cares less about that it's the Punisher.
Well, it doesn't like it, but we're not. He's not punishing.
No, he's not punishing. I agree. Like this movie feels like the Punisher 3.
Right.
He's like they did the origin movie, they did the you know, violent follow-up, and now they're like, I don't know, maybe he's got to save some kids.
But yeah, I mean, it could have just been called, like, you know, Jack whatever, you know, Jack Johnson comes and saves the kids.
Peter Piper.
Right. Yeah. It could have been anything. Doesn't have to be the Punisher.
I hear you, and yet I'm charmed by that aspect of it, honestly, because it is a bad choice. It is an objectively bad choice, but this sort of appeals to me about it. And like, I guess for most of the movie, I just turned off that it was the Punisher in my brain. And
you can't have it both ways. You're trying to have it both ways.
I guess so. You
can't do that.
Fair enough.
If you want it not to be the Punisher, then it shouldn't be the Punisher. You can't say I'm okay with it being the Punisher.
I definitely want it to be the Punisher. Because I do think it's dumber for it being the Punisher, and I like that about it.
Ugh.
Because he is completely out of place in this movie. Ironically, this feels like a Daredevil movie.
Yeah, kind of.
right? Like you can see Daredevil being caught up in this nonsense a lot more easily than the Punisher, because at every opportunity outside of earlier, he does like a little bit of punishing in the first act because he blows up that house.
Okay, that's the
And-
first minute.
Right. Well, that's okay. So first half's an exaggeration. In the first 10 minutes, he does some solid punishing. Then he leaves the movie for maybe 15 minutes.
Right.
Then there's a lot of real real mob bureaucracy in the movie for a little while, including a scene that I thought was insane, where the mob boss, like the capo di capi,
Okay.
is like leaving the courthouse or whatever, and he is swarmed by reporters with questions for him that all imply that they all know he's the mob boss and that he's just fine with being the mob boss, and that nobody, like, they're talking to him like he's the head of a Fortune 500, like that being head of the mob is a perfectly normal and legal thing to do and talk about.
Are you worried about the Punisher?
Now let me tell you something about this Punisher, whoever he is. If he ever shows up within 1,000 yards of me, he'll find out what the word punished really means. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Now you're bringing up a good point.
Thank you.
The press media in this film
Mm-hmm.
are far too familiar with everyone.
Yeah.
At the beginning, when the house blows up, they're right there and they're walking in the rubble of what is a crime scene, and nobody cares. They're just like interviewing the cops as they're copping.
Oh yeah, like they hear like a gunshot and they're like, "We're going in!"
Yeah.
Put on the camera! Keep it rolling! Come on, guys! Move it!
We don't care about private property. The movie also opens with a TV news segment that felt very RoboCop.
Oh,
And
yeah.
for a second there, I was like, is this movie going to be like a weird RoboCop knockoff where they're going to try and like string in satirical news reports throughout? And no, not at all. But that would have been cool.
No, it just ends up with Dolph Lundgren driving the school bus for the kids.
Loved it.
But oh, don't worry, he forgot one. So now he's got to go back.
Okay, we got to talk. So the Yakuza has kidnapped all of these kids.
Yep.
There's not a scene where the Punisher resolves to go rescue them, because there's not, outside of the theater guy, the Punisher has nobody to talk to in this movie. So there's not a lot of scenes of him talking about his motivations or the ways he feels or what he's going to do or anything like that. But he decides he's going to go save these kids. Now, the one thing that did frustrate me from a Punisher point of view is that the Punisher is not unlike Batman, who gets name checked in the movie.
Who sent you?
Batman.
Not unlike Batman, the Punisher is known for his planning and his execution. Like he really studies a problem, like really plans it out. The preparation is really solid. In this movie, he just shows up and wings it, which does include at one point stealing a city bus, so that after he rescues most of the kids, he does leave a man behind, which seems very, very un-Punisher of him. And then a car chase ensues with him driving this city bus very recklessly. Kids are tumbling around inside the bus.
Well,
Very willy-nilly.
One of the bad guys gets on the bus and doesn't do anything about the kids. Like, he comes up for Punisher.
Yeah. Well, don't forget the guy who gloms onto the side of the bus,
Right.
and then the kids are peeling his fingers off of the window. That's what I said. It is hard for me to not like this movie when it has such stupid and irresponsible use of these children.
Oh, yes.
Wonderful.
And when he's like going to save the kids, I can't remember if he's saved the kids by this point or not, but the ninjas are around all throughout this too.
Oh, this movie's neck deep in ninjas.
To the point where he's in a fun house
obligatory funhouse scene.
There's funhouse shootout with the ninjas.
Yeah.
And these ninjas are not good. They're not good ninjas.
Nah. But that's the point. Your movie ninja army is there to... They're like stormtroopers. They're there to be mowed down.
Yeah, even the Foot Clan gets some good hits in every now and then.
The only two good ninjas in this movie are the lady who's the head of the Yakuza, who wears a metal bugle on her pinky.
Right.
And apparently does kabuki dancing on the side. And the aforementioned Electra type ninja who has like razor earrings that she throws at people with very little provocation.
Yeah, she's rough.
Liked her.
Now, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Throughout this movie,
Sure.
people are entrapped in places
Sure.
or situations.
Sure.
The kids in the little jail thing that they're in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then Punisher's in one of those stretch 'em ups. Whatever you call those.
The rack.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And in each of these situations, it's like a snap of the finger to get out of them.
Yeah, I mean that was a thing I liked that I made a note of. I do like when the Punisher's in the rack, and they also have the theater guy in a rack next to him because they know Punisher's not going to break.
Well, we don't
I
know
like-
that at first.
Well, they were ready for it.
Yep.
I did like watching him work the wing nut off of his restraint. Like that was a Punisher-y moment.
Classic wingnut on the restraints.
Well, you need to be able to get that thing on and off.
Are you kidding me?
But still, like watching it, like, you know, seeing him get out of it, I thought was fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to the mat for this movie a little bit. I enjoy-
You are.
Now that said, I do also. It is hard to call this a movie. It is more a bunch of action scenes strung together than it is a movie, and I suppose that's part of what I liked. Like this was not a boring movie.
No,
This
wasn't.
is a movie with a lot of gunfire and explosions and just rank stupidity.
Right.
There very little character. Like there is one, like the most Punisher moment in the whole movie, I think, was the scene where the Punisher, after the Punisher's been caught, and he and Lou Gossett Jr. have that scene in the cell together, where the dialogue in this movie is insane. But Lou Gossett Jr. sits down and says something like, "How's it going, Frank?" And Punisher's like, "Busy."
How you been? Busy.
But yeah, I liked the end sequence a fair amount.
So, okay, the
Yeah.
end sequence.
Yeah.
Super dark for that kid.
Yeah. Oh, most of this movie is the best kind of comic book hyperviolence.
Yep.
Like like we said, it is not gory, is very violent, but it's, you know, it's excessive, but also ridiculous. And it's always paired with this really over the top and stupid dialogue.
Right.
But yeah, then like the last 5-10 minutes, like they throw a switch and it gets bleak.
Yes. That poor kid.
Right, because his dad, so the last kid left standing is the big boss mob guy's kid. He and Punisher,
Not because all the other kids got killed, it's because he was the one that got left behind.
right. Because Frank saved the rest of them, and this
Right.
kid like played hero and got left behind.
Yeah.
So they show up, and while Frank is fighting Lady Ninja,
Yep.
there's a showdown between the mob boss and Kabuki Head Ninja, who is holding the kid hostage on condition that the mob boss put his own gun in his mouth.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, the guy playing the mob boss is playing that scene.
And she's going to make the kid watch this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, Frank is wrapping up his fight with American Ninja Lady.
Yep.
And he snaps her neck in a truly grisly fashion.
Right.
Like this, I will not show because, like the noise, like as goofy as sound effects are elsewhere in this movie, the neck snapping sound effect is
legit.
Yeah. Like that was the Punisheriest that got. I'll tell you that for free.
Mm-hmm.
That was wild. And then even after, of course, I think Frank shows up and he kills Kabuki Lady.
Yep, real quick.
And so now Frank and the mob, you would think that they've built to the Frank and the mob boss have like a, this is your one free pass kind of a scene. But no, then they get into it while the kid is still watching.
Right.
Frank, and now I don't know if I can say he murders the mob boss. They're tussling over a gun.
Right.
But then Frank gives the kid a speech about shape up or I'll come for you.
Right. Well, because at one point he basically puts the onus on the kid, like it's either me or your dad. Who's it going to be?
Yeah. That end is bleak.
Right.
We have got, at that point, we have gotten so far away from goofy scuba suit ninjas that it is like.
Forgot about the scuba suits.
How could you? Scuba ninjas.
Ugh.
That it is like a completely different movie.
Yes.
Wild stuff.
Then it ends with Dolph Lundgren naked in the dark.
Reaffirming his vows as the Punisher.
Yeah. To actually go punish. All the kids are safe. I can go punish.
Now I can get back to my day job.
Even though it appears all the mob guys and Yakuza people are dead.
Right, because the Yakuza earlier on wipes out all the mob heads. And again, what I thought was a pretty terrific scene. The very generic mob guys meet in an Italian restaurant.
Right.
But the twist here, and then the Yakuza come strolling in, and you're ready for, all right, now the mob guys are going to turn the tables on the Yakuza. No, somehow the Yakuza has pre-filled the restaurant with their own goons.
Right. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Where'd all those people go?
Who were they just day players? Where'd they even come from?
Don't know.
Like there's definitely a more solid movie in this movie where, like we said, either you swap out Punisher for Daredevil or you just, this is Death Wish 6 or just not anybody.
Right.
Or maybe the Yakuza are somehow like the heroes in this, or the movie centers on like the American Ninja Lady who's having a crisis of conscience or something like that.
Well, it was on the verge of like, Dark Knight Rises where, Joker's taking over and the bad guys are even like, man, we can't handle this guy. You got to help us out. Like the mob could have come to Punisher and be like, yo, these Yakuzas are taking us down. We need your help.
Mm-hmm. Like this movie is dancing around some interesting ideas, but it is not in any way concerned with any of those.
No.
I'll tell you what it is concerned about. That awful talking panda toy. Did you scope this thing? Did you see this thing?
I moved on from it.
Hi, I'm Peter Bear. I really care. And to show you it's true, I have some things to teach to you.
Like what, Peter?
Oof. That thing was terrifying.
I think at that point I was still on the fact that the Punisher had to go out and buy an RC truck somewhere and then drive it around the sewer just in the right form to Pied Piper the drunk over to where he was.
It's so weird. And it's so weird. It's so weird. Like it would even be more acceptable if it was like a bottle on a string.
Or like $1, like, oh,
sure.
Get the dollar,
but the amount of effort that this required.
Yeah. And then it's just gone. Like, I wish we would have seen him playing with it later.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, here, kids, here's an RC truck.
Real Chekhov's RC truck scenario.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. But yeah, that's the Punisher. I mean, there really isn't a lot to this movie. There's
Yeah,
not
it's-
a lot going on.
A lot of shoot 'em ups, knife 'em ups.
Dolph has a crossbow at one point,
Yeah, that was interesting.
which he uses as a zip line that. Oh yeah, that's right, because he shoots the arrow into a dude,
Right.
and then he zip lines down it. And I am pretty sure that just a guy is not an adequate anchor for your zip line.
Not when you're 300 pounds of Dolph Lundgren.
Ooh. That is for sure. Dolph. I would love to hear his thoughts on this.
He can't remember this. He can't. No way.
But I think He-Man's before this. He does He-Man and he does Punisher. Like, you have to imagine both times he was like, this is it. This is my Rambo. This is going to be it. I'm going to be making 5 or 6 of these. This is going to make old Dolph a star.
No, wait. No, wait.
Yeah.
At this point in time,
Mm-hmm.
there weren't as many blockbuster superhero films as we see now. There were
Correct.
certainly some.
Very few. Well, none of them were blockbusters.
Not even Superman.
Okay. Superman. Batman comes out this same year.
Right.
But this movie's from New World, who also put out like that. Remember that terrible Captain America movie?
Oh no.
And they made that weird Fantastic Four movie that never got released.
Right.
This is this company.
Yeah. So my point is,
Yeah.
What you were trying to say, I'm not sure he was looking at it that way. He was just looking at it as a payday. But now looking back on it, he's probably like, man, 2 big swing and misses on those 2 things.
Well, I would say 2 things to that. One is that the one area where those franchises existed and were blockbusters is in the action movie space.
Yeah.
Because there were 5 Death Wish movies. There were 3 at the time, 3 Rambos.
What type of money was that then?
Was what?
Like the Death Wish.
Well, not a ton, but the point, but it's consistent work. Like a guy like Chuck Norris and Charles Bronson, they were making 2, 3, 4 movies a year for Canon.
Oh,
and
Dolphy wasn't. Dolphy wasn't making.
No, he wasn't. Not like that. I'm sure he would have liked that. Is all I'm saying. That would have been. And also remember too that the first Rambo movie, that First Blood, is a real low budget affair.
Yeah, but all right. People hold that movie in high esteem, and it's not even. It's not Rambo. He's not Rambo yet.
Oh, to me, he's more Rambo in First Blood than he ever is again.
Well, yeah, but he's not. The thing that people think about when they think Rambo, he's not doing that.
No, agreed. There almost aren't 2 more different movies than First Blood and Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Right.
Because 2 is like the big stupid, like this movie, like better, but
right.
This kind of thing, big stupid action extravaganza, and the first one is the serious guy. But all I'm saying is First Blood had been big, and that first Death Wish movie had been really big, and there is room for a Punisher movie in that space.
Yeah,
this is obviously not it.
Yeah, big swing and a miss.
And it's so weird too that Punisher, they can't ever get it right.
Right. Yeah, I guess.
I haven't seen the Netflix show.
I'm not either.
I liked him on Daredevil.
The one Punisher, I don't think it did very well, but Punisher 3, whatever, Warzone or whatever it was called.
War Journal?
Yeah, something like that.
Like Ray Stevenson one?
Yeah, more recently.
Sure.
That was good.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that one.
Yeah.
But like that Thomas Jane one doesn't work.
No.
Like he's such a simple character. It's surprising that they haven't been able to hit it out of the park.
And it's the same with the Ghost Rider. The first Ghost Rider movie they made, not great.
Well, or the second one.
Well, the Vengeance one, whatever that one's called, that's good. It's better.
Okay, if you say so.
It's better.
But it's really weird that they can't like I think what people forget about the current state of superhero movies is that the first Marvel movie wasn't Iron Man.
Right.
It was Blade. Like Blade was the one that really like turned things around and like made things start to make sense. And like that first Blade is not a great movie. And it's a movie that functions like this in a lot of ways. But it's surprising that they were able to make Blade work, which is so much more complicated than The Punisher. And I don't know if that's the problem. Like, is it just that The Punisher is so basically generic that there's not something for like audiences to sink their teeth into, like that he needs a hook and doesn't really have one?
Right. No gimmick.
He's not a daywalker.
Sure. You got it.
All of their strengths, Chad. None of their weaknesses.
Just really emotional.
Sure. Well, you know. You hang around with
taxes.
You hang around with Chris Christopherson a lot.
Taxes are a real problem.
Sure. But that's The Punisher.
Yep.
Punisher 3, Rise of the Yakuza.
We're about to have a real difficult time right
here.
This
is going to be tough because I'm going to be straight with you.
I know what you're going to do here.
Prior to this recording, I was top 5.
No.
I know I'm not going to get it, but for me, this is a top 5 movie.
It's so not.
Like, just based on my level of enjoyment watching it, it's a top 5 movie.
What a weird hill to try to die on for you.
Well, I'm not trying. I understand that I'm going to be compromising here. I am just saying that all of this stuff that frustrated you and you didn't like, I loved it. Like that the kids are in it. It's so stupid. I love it.
But you yourself said for half the movie, I just disregarded Punisher.
Like but it helps that I don't care about the Punisher.
I know. And this movie doesn't allow you to care about him.
That's fine. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, that's fair.
It's not good.
That's fair. And I would like it. I still like it more than it's the Punisher because that makes it dumber.
But we can't be doing that. We can't be saying, "Oh, I liked it." The more dumb it got, the better.
Sure, you can.
No,
sure
no,
you can. Yes, you can. That's the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Well, no, see, that's. But it's not. But that's not based on a deeper world that they're trying to use.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is because it's like if they made a Superman movie where Superman couldn't fly. That is so stupid. It's Masters of the Universe. I love that movie, and that's a movie that what ad wizard said we're going to make a He-Man movie, but hold on, it takes place now on Earth. That is the dumbest decision you could possibly make. Okay, all right, okay. So I'm top 5.
No.
Whereabouts do you think you are?
Well,
like
I'd be below 10.
Okay.
At least.
I'll throw some movies at you.
Uh-huh.
Dirt Bike Kid.
Oh, see that one to me, I loved that one because all the weird bank stuff that was going on.
Yeah, I like those parts of it. I didn't like the unendurable middles of it.
Yeah, sure. I agree. This has the same thing.
Oh, not for me. Like this movie is this is very even keel for me with a couple of spikes. But it's so disinterested in plot that it never really slows down for me. So I'm happy to compromise. Like I know I'm not getting top 5.
All right, well then here's the compromise.
Okay.
We just finished reviewing 12 .01.
Yeah.
And we placed that at number 10.
Number 10. Mm-hmm.
I will defer to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I am willing to place the Punisher on either side of that mark.
Interesting. Then I think in fairness, I liked it better than 1201, but I liked it better than the next several movies on the list.
Uh-huh.
So I'll put it in deference to you, then I will put it beneath 1201
What do you mean beneath? At 9 or 11?
at 11. At 11,
Okay,
and we will call it there.
fine.
Very good. The Punisher. That makes our second Marvel movie
Oh, what was the
in
first
bad
one?
movie. Dracula.
Oh gosh, that one.
Hmm.
Animated film.
That's right. That's right. And
Our only one still, right?
yeah, that's right. And there may be more Marvel schlock on the way because God knows Marvel could not get their act together.
Well, they finally did.
Yeah. Hey, loving it.
Yep.
Loving it. This Sam Raimi Doctor Strange movie, sign me up.
Well, I can sit and watch Ragnarok all day long.
Oh, me too. That's for sure one of the absolute best ones.
Hmm.
That's top 3.
Sure.
Is Ragnarok your favorite Marvel movie?
I have to think through.
Sure.
Um,
To go through the whole list of Marvel movies.
no, it's not my favorite.
Okay, what's your favorite Marvel movie then?
So I'm counting them together. I would put the 2 Guardians movies ahead of it.
Okay.
I didn't think I liked Guardians 2, but then I've rewatched it, and I do.
It's
like
really
it.
good.
I
It's
do like
really
it.
good.
So I count them together as one
Okay.
over it.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to think. The more recent Spider-Mans are good. I don't know if I think they're better.
I think that Homecoming is great,
Uh-huh.
but I think that Far From Home is just fine.
Yep.
Like I
Yep.
like it, but I don't think it's as good. But that Michael Keaton
Right.
is great. Which Tom Holland, terrific spy. Like that movie's got it all going on.
Yep.
Whereas I think Far From Home's a little too, ironically, since Homecoming features Iron Man so prominently.
Yep.
I think that Far From Home gets too bogged down in the Marvel Universe stuff.
Sure.
It's good, but it's just not, to my mind, as good.
Yep. So that range, and Captain Marvel is really good.
Mm-hmm. That's one that I had the same thing, like where I liked it when I saw it, but
Yep.
we rewatched it again fairly recently, and it grew on me a lot.
Right. So that range of the movies, I think, are the best
Sure.
ones.
Now for me, definitely Guardians 2 more than Guardians 1 for me, although I like them both very much.
No.
But I like how much Guardians 2 is like about stuff.
Right.
But I think for me the best one is probably Iron Man 3.
Okay. Same
Like-
range still. Time
Yeah,
frame.
well, again, it's one that's like about stuff. I like that they get him out of the armor for a lot of it.
Yep.
Civil War
Civil War is good.
is way up there for me. I like Winter Soldier. I know most people like Winter Soldier more. I certainly like Winter Soldier, but I think Civil War has more oomph or whatever to it.
Yep. Black Panther also very good.
Black Panther's great, almost like a whole other thing.
Right.
Endgame, honestly,
Endgame is good.
like that movie was so sad, like that they pulled that off, and that it was so satisfying.
Actually, Doctor Strange, I just watched again. Very good.
I think Doctor Strange is just okay, but I like the first Ant-Man a ton.
Yeah. Yep. Ant-Man.
That one's way up there for me. Here's the thing, they're all pretty good.
They're doing a good job. They're doing a good job.
Like I know a lot of people complain about there being kind of homogenous,
Whatever.
but darn it, I mean, I guess Dark World isn't great,
Yeah.
and that Hulk movie isn't great.
No, that's bad.
But they're also not that bad. Like those are both perfectly watchable movies.
Eh.
But I'm thrilled that Taika's doing another Thor.
Yep.
Do you follow Taika?
I do. I know his jam.
Did you see Jojo Rabbit yet?
No. I didn't.
It's real damn good.
Okay.
Did you see Hunt for the Wilder People?
No.
You would like that one.
Okay.
And it's on something. It's on like Hulu or something right now.
Okay.
Maybe
All
Netflix.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. 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 I'm looking forward to Black Widow.
Yep.
I like that Florence Pugh.
I don't know who that is.
She was a wrestler gal in Fighting with My Family.
Oh. Okay.
She was in Midsummer.
Oh God, yes. Hate that movie.
Oh, loved it.
Ugh.
Absolutely loved it.
No. No.
Yes, sir. Yes. We need to sign off from this episode.
Punisher number 11.
We'll see you next time with more bad movies.
Yes, we will.